Hey guys, thanks for joining me with Learn to Play Games. This is Gen Con 2019 Day 4, so we're pretty tired at this point, but I had a chance to swing by the booth, and I want to tell you, man, this is the game that I found at Gen Con that I am so excited about. So I am here with Jamie, and we're going to be taking a look at Oathsworn Into the DeepWood. So Jamie, can you tell me a little bit about this new exciting game that you guys have?
Yeah, so this has been a passion project. My goodness, there's 2.5 years we've been working on this thing. A team of 25 of us just getting this thing ready. Yeah, it's been absolutely nuts, and it's really born from a passion of wanting to tell a grand story but gamify it. Okay. So we are writing a 200,000 word epic novel with a New York Times bestseller and a team of 7 writers.
Wow!
Writing this story, and we're wrapping it through around a game. And the game is like you're playing a free company.
Okay.
So basically, up here behind you can see on the walls, this is the DeepWood. Yeah. And the DeepWood has destroyed civilization, and now all that's left of mankind lives within these like quarantine cities. And then the monsters started coming, and no one knows where they come from. But they start attacking the walls, and they're nomming on the caravans and things that try and trade with other cities. And basically, in answer to this, they made the free companies. And yeah, you're a bunch of badasses. Like
awesome.
you're the best cut that mankind's got, but you're fighting monsters. So your survival rate is not very good, and what you're trying to do is you're going through this it's like a choose your own adventure game, but it's a board gamer's version of this. So we call this a twisting tales game.
Okay.
What that lets us do is it lets us integrate it with all kinds of cool modern board game mechanics. This one is where you use maps to move around the map. This is a beautiful map.
Oh, absolutely beautiful.
Hand drawn. Wow. It takes a month for Francesca Berold, our cartographer, to draw these. It's absolutely beautiful. And what you do is you move around these maps, unlocking locations to go to, meeting allies, gaining items, doing all that stuff. And basically you're on this mystery, trying to unlock the clues, openings, like legacy elements and stuff, trying to find out what's going on in this town. And eventually you find the monster, it finds you, and then you go down onto the monster fight. And so we have these pretty nuts.
Oh my god, those are epic!
Yeah, it's nearly as big as a real rat, right? This is our baby.
Incredible.
She's not the only big monster in the game. Like we've got like a dozen amazing high quality monster fights you go through. We really wanted this to be an experience game because one of the problems you kind of get sometimes with big campaign games is you've done the first level, you've kind of done all of the levels because sometimes they look samey. They're kind of not that far apart from each other. The story is different. The mechanics are different. This monster has her own mechanics, special abilities, and all this cool stuff she does. And then she'll go back in the box. The next monster will come out will be a very different fight. Very it's like a raid boss in an MMO or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So you're
okay.
having a different experience each time you come to it. So we call this an artisanal game. Okay. So it's like we want it to play like it feels like to watch a AAA movie. Like you feel like you're going through this thing, and there's tension, and there's the blades are flying, and the teeth are coming, and yeah, it's been a road to get here, but we've got some exciting mechanics as well. I mean, it's not just like beautiful artwork and miniatures. Yeah. We've got a whole bunch of kind of unique mechanics. So we've got a push your luck exploding combat system that you can resolve with dice or cards. So if you're a dice man or a card man, depending, you can use whichever resolution you want. See, like a card, it cares about you. It remembers that you've missed, and so you can kind of work. You get perfect averages with a card deck. Cool. But a dice, it doesn't really give a damn about you. It doesn't care. but a dice can crit forever. It can miss forever, and so it's more epic and tragic at the same time. But we thought, why make people choose? Like people have different.
That's awesome.
So you can do that, and we've got this whole cooldown mechanism for the game, and yeah, there's a lot to it. So people they're walking by the booth and they give it the old what, and they see the monster, they see the rat, they come and look at the rat, and then they realise there's a game behind it, and it's got some chops. So we're really excited to get this out into people's hands.
That's amazing. And I know you were saying that you guys have a full campaign with this that's narrated. And you got a pretty fancy narrator, I heard.
Yeah. So Lord Commander Mormont from Game of Thrones is our narrator. So that's a guy called James Cosmo, absolutely amazing guy. We went to the studio with him and recorded some stuff earlier this year, and he was just amazing. He just turned up to this studio, and you just go. You ever been in a room with somebody and you just shrink to this massive guy, and he's just like, hello, it's like being in the same room as Brian Blessed or something like that. It's
incredible.
Just incredible. So yeah, I remember, and he just leveled the place with his voice, and he's talking you through the story as you go, and it's like you can imagine the rain and the grim dark and the northern accent coming through, and the monsters, and so there's a whole thing. So really, this is a gamified story, right? This is the real heart and soul of it, because I think that as we move more and more into, like, there's so many games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think we're in a place now where we really want a nice experience. We want to feel something new, you know,
Yes.
and we do want to feel something. We want to feel something emotionally, you know,
Definitely.
not just because we often appreciate games. We're like, yeah, I appreciate that was good. That was a good mechanical game. But now I think we can go to more places than that. We can go, that was good mechanically. That was so interesting. And I felt something. Like, I cried over the death of that guy. Like, I felt that. Like, you know, and so it's sort of trying to bring together to life a story in a way that makes you play it and enjoy it. Yeah. So.
Incredible. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and jump behind the camera, and we'll take you guys through a couple rounds of people playing to show you what the game looks like in action.
You guys, what you're seeing up there is the DeepWood. Now, when the DeepWood came, it destroyed civilization. All of the farmland, all of the roads, all of the villages, all of the towns, all gone. All that's left of society now exists within these quarantine cities, islands in a sea of death and trees. Now, life inside these cities is harsh and brutal. Starvation and disease is rife, brutality is commonplace, and if that wasn't bad enough, then the monsters came. No one knows why the monsters came or where they come from, but when they do, they're a bit like velociraptors in Jurassic Park, right? They kind of assail the walls trying to get to the people within. They will nom down on the caravans that try and leave the city to make trade with other settlements. And in answer to this, the king forms the free companies. And that's what you guys are. You are a free company. Now, you are a bit like, have you seen Predator, the film? You're like Dutch's team in Predator, right? You are the best that mankind's got, but you are fighting monsters, and so your survival rate is not very good. So colloquially, a new free company member is called a 60-seconder. That's the average life expectancy of your first monster fight.
Nice.
If you survive that first monster fight, you often become these grim, grizzled, hardened veterans who stalk the earth, taking on contracts to kill monsters. And so that's who you're playing today. Now, this all looks very cool over here with all the miniatures and things, but a big part of the game starts here in the story. Now, do you remember sort of choose your own adventure games from the 90s? Stuff like that? These multi-path stories? This is the world's first board gamers version of something like that. This is called a Twisting Tales game. Now, the way this works is we have a team of 7 writers with a New York Times bestseller writing a 200,000-word epic novel, which is gamified. And you can go through, it takes you through the story of your free company and the whole world and all the locations. And you do it by going through these wonderful maps. So we have all these lovely modern-day board game mechanics we can introduce. And you start off on one of these points of the map. Now, so for instance, your free company may have turned up in this city, and you've been told to deal with whatever's happening in the city. So it might be that the bodies are piling up and you don't know why, and you have to find it out. So you will travel around the city, unlocking tokens that let you go to locations. You'll be gaining allies, gaining items, gaining combat tokens, solving mysteries, opening puzzles from the legacy box, and you'll be trying to work out what's happening in this town. Now, as you go through this story, you're taking the tokens off the locations you go to and putting them on the time track. And on the time track, as the time runs out, you're getting less and less rewards because you're on a timer, you're on a contract to get this monster. The longer it takes you, the less reward you get for the story. So eventually, ultimately, you find the monster or it finds you, and you go down onto the encounter board with the monster fight. Now, 200,000 words sounds like a lot of words, right? If you don't really fancy reading all those words, you can use the companion app. Now, do you know Game of Thrones? Okay, do you know Lord Commander Mormont in Game of Thrones? Well, Lord Commander Mormont is our narrator for this game.
Oh, kidding.
He will read the story to you as you go through it. No, it's not me. He's got a much better voice than me, and his voice doesn't break like mine.
British accent involved.
But yeah, he literally will read this through. The rain's coming down, the monsters are coming. You're having this great grim dark reader telling you the story. So just so you know, this game takes about half an hour to 45 minutes to play, and this part of the game takes about an hour and a half to play. So you can play both ends of a chapter in about 3 hours, which means you can fit it into a game night. However, if you don't have that kind of time, you can split the game in two, do this one night and do that the next night. As long as you've got an hour and a half, you can keep playing that campaign. So you guys have been running through this chapter, and you found the Broodmother. That's her over there. Now, you've been fighting her for a while. She's been nomming down on the local citizenry, and you've had to be called in to deal with it. You're down to 2 HP apiece now. You've been getting kind of hit pretty hard by this thing, but you've been doing damage to her too, and she's only down to 6 HP left. Your game today is called Whack-A-Rat. You have to kill this Broodmother in one turn, or all of you die. Now, the way we're going to do this is by using our Animus. Now, in front of you, there's a bunch of gemstones. Now, in the game, you can use gemstones for 2 things. You can move, and it costs 1 Animus for every 1 hex you move. Or on every card that you have, there's an animus cost. So you can see on the top left-hand corner, there's that orange number, that's your animus cost. So you can spend animus to be able to do abilities. Now what I want you to do right now is pick up the face-down cards in front of you. That's your hand for this game. Don't worry about any of the faff on the cards. All you need to do is look at the title, and that'll give you an idea of what that card can do. We're going to start with the Ursus, we're going to go around the board, and then you're going to have a chance to try and kill this rat. So, Ursus, you're over there surrounded by rats. What do you fancy trying to do?
Oh, let's see. I've got attacks that do adjacent enemies. That's not useful right now, right?
No, it's only stuff in your hand. So what sounds fun?
Let's do a toss.
Toss, okay, right. So toss. That's got a cost of 4, so you move your animus across there. And now you've got a cooldown number on every card. In the top right-hand corner, there's a cooldown number. That will tell you where on your board this card goes. So you see on your board there's a 3, 2, 1, and 0 around your board. This is your cooldown positions. So when you play this card, it comes down to that cooldown position. Now this is where it gets good. Now we have a unique mechanic in the game called battle flow. Now, in a real fight, a lot of the time the person who wins in combat is not the most skilled fighter. It's actually the person with the most stamina. It's the person who can breathe the most, who can stay standing the longest, the person who doesn't make the first mistake because they're tired. In this, we represent this by battle flow. So whenever you place a card from your hand to the board, you will battle flow all cards on that position one around towards 0. And what happens is you're trying to push these cards all the way around your board, keep them moving, keep breathing, keep fighting until the job's done. Get those cards into your hand so you can use them again to help you win the battle. So what you're going to do is you're going to toss now. You're going to toss this rat. So now we get into combat. So are you a dice man or a card man?
Dice.
Dice, okay, because you can use both in this game. You choose. Now, the reason you might want to use cards is cards care about you, right? A card remembers. It remembers that you've missed, and so it might give you a better chance to hit you the next time. Over the course of a game, cards give you perfect averages. A dice doesn't give a damn about you, right?
Dice, I'm breaking up with you. Tell me more about these cards.
So the cards, once you use a card, it gets discarded and not shuffled back into
That's
the deck.
it. So it keeps going through, right? And so the dice doesn't care. It can miss until the cows come home or crit whenever it wants to. So do you want to do the dice or the cards?
Cards.
Okay, cards. Right, now we're going to this. So now we get into combat. Now, a lot of games, when you're in combat, it will just tell you how many dice to roll. We don't do that here. You choose how many dice you want to roll, because in real combat, you can choose how hard you want to swing a weapon. You can swing for the fences and try and knock something's head off in a single blow, or you can do a quick jab to try and get a little damage in, but it's more likely to land. So, in this game, you can choose how many dice you roll. The rub, however, is that if you ever roll 2 blanks, the whole thing misses. So you can push your luck. You can roll all the dice in the world, but you roll those blanks, that's when things go bad. So you've got a little yellow cube on your thing, on your mic track here. That's because your Ursus has a big old axe. So you're going to get 1 yellow card to start with, and then you can have as many whites as you want. Now just know, that little rat over there only has 2 defense, so you don't need to do an awful lot of damage to it to kill it. How many cards do you want?
Give me 3 more.
2, 3. Now you turn those over and see what happens. Blank. 2, 1, 2, right, brilliant, so you did it. Now, those are crits. Now, whenever you roll a crit, we have an exploding dice system. What that means is whenever you crit, you get another card for free. And they can't miss.
Okay.
And you get another card for free because you did another crit. And you get another card for free.
Wow.
Hey, right, okay, so what you done? 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. That's a huge amount of damage. By the way, the record so far is 18. We had a chap yesterday, that was insane. But that's pretty good. Plus 10 is seriously good for playthrough, right? So, what you do is, in this game, you take your damage you did, 11, and you divide it by the defense of the enemy. So the enemy's defense here is 2. So 2 into 11 goes how many times? 5 and a bit. But you forget the remainders. We don't care about the remainders. We only care about the breakpoints. So 5 times. That rat only has 1 HP. You've killed that rat 5 times already, right? That is a very dead rat. Now you pick up that rat and you chuck it. Who are you chucking it at? You're chucking it at his mum. You brute. All right. So you're chucking the rat at his mum.
I'm a real bear.
So you pick up the rat, you're going to chuck it at her. Now, when 2 things collide in this game, it's called knockback. That means both of them lose a HP. So the mama will lose a HP as you chuck your baby at her, and the rat will lose another HP. So you've killed it 6 times now. And that removed the rat from the board. That's very dead. Okay, so you're kind of all out of animus, so we're moving on now to the warden. Warden, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
I'm guessing that's my character?
Yeah, you're the one with the big shield.
The one with the big shield. Got it. Okay. So we have 1 round, right? We're doing
That's
one
it,
round.
1
here?
chance.
All right, then there's no long-term negative effects if I use my big bad attack right now. Arcing Strike. Looks like I'm set up perfectly to attack those 3 guys.
You got it.
All right.
So you pay the animus cost. So you pay the animus cost. It's 4. Okay, then you put it on cooldown. So what cooldown is it?
It's 4.
No, it's a cooldown. The white number. 2. So it goes on position 2.
All right. So then this goes.
Round there. That's right. And that doesn't cascade, so that just stays there. Then you put 1 on that one, and it'll move the other 2 round. So now you get to attack. You don't have a big axe, so you only get the white. So you roll as many whites as you want. You only need to get 2. You can draw if you want to. So, how many cards do you want? You only need to get to 2 to wipe out the whole lot.
3.
1, 2, 3. You didn't miss, did you, on those whites? There's a lot of whites in that deck. Uh-oh. 1, 2. Okay, you got the 3. You did it. Right, so you wipe out all those rats. Get rid of those rats.
Does she do a crit because she got a 2?
No, it's only when it's a crit symbol.
Okay.
It's that symbol right there. All right, so those rats are all gone. Boom, boom, boom. You've killed them. You've opened up the way for the priest now. You haven't got a lot of energy left, so we're going to move on to the ranger now. So, Ranger, it's your turn.
Okay.
Now, you're at range 5 currently, so you need to move. So that's 1 animus to move into range, because you've got range 4.
Oh, do I? Okay.
I set you up. Kill it.
So I need to go here.
Yeah, just 1 more hex. Either way will get you into range. That's it.
Within range of the.
Yep,
Okay.
But you
Okay.
move, so I think you got to spend a gem, right?
you do. 1 gem for 1 movement.
Okay.
Now you get to do an ability. What do you fancy doing?
Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Yeah. So you can choose the location of the enemy to hit. Is there a way to make that a crit, or is it just you can hit them somewhere?
So you can either hit the head or the tail with that one. Normally you'd hit the closest target, which would be the head. It's up to you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna thread the needle.
Yep.
You can choose the location of the enemy to hit. If you fire into the enemy's rear, from the enemy's rear, gain 2. So it's,
Yeah, you're not in the enemy's rear arc, so you're okay.
it's 3, so it goes over here.
So it's 3 cost, but its cooldown is 1. So it's the white number for cooldown.
Oh,
And that battle flows that card around at the bottom.
So the other one that's on 1, there you go.
That's it, and you pay the cost.
Okay, so that's 3 of these.
That's it, and now you've got a big bow, so you have 1 yellow and as many whites as you want. Now, just
I'm actually probably gonna.
Nobody wants to roll the dice.
you can
I'll
roll it.
roll the
dice
dice.
lucky guy.
I'll try the dice.
Okay, now, you're shooting her in the head, right?
Yeah.
She has 2 HP, so you know 2 times 2 is 4. You need 4 damage to wipe out that head. How many dice are you going to roll?
4 whites and a yellow. I'm nervous. I feel like
Do it. Do it.
You should be nervous.
Do
There's a
it.
12-foot rat right next to you.
Do it. Come on.
So you get
Do
2
it
blanks,
now.
you miss.
Yeah.
Don't get any blanks.
Don't get 2 blanks.
Oh, it's good. And a crit. So you get another dice for the crit. And another dice for the crit. Oh, nice damage. How much is that? 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2 into 9 goes 4 times, right? So you did 4 HP. She's only got 2 HP. You stick an arrow right through her eye into her brain pan. Boom, you took out the head. Now, you might notice under here, there's a little token here. This is a reward for taking out specific spots on the monster. These are actually the hexes of that monster, and you can take it apart in a specific order systematically. So this here would give everybody at the table a +2 animus token. So you just remember you've got a +2 animus token for later. Now, also what happens is this is a grimdark game. Shooting something in the head doesn't kill it, it just makes it angry. So what's happening is this monster is going to come for you now. So each monster in this game, each encounter is unique, right? You're not fighting this thing again. You fight new monsters with new mechanics, new special abilities, and new AI decks. This is completely AI driven, so you can play it solo, and you have different ability cards. Each one has a different phase, 1, 2, 3, right? It changes its behaviors as it goes through. It's deeply thematic, deep and rich. We call this an artisanal game because at every level we try to design a world-class thing, right? So this is what will happen here is she's going to draw a card and come at you because you just did damage to her. She will do this ability. It's called Tail Whip. So it says here, a barbed tail thicker than your leg comes around in a brutal arc. So we move the Broodmother towards you. We pick her up, we move it to you, and then we drop her down as she pushes everything else out the way as she drops down. Boom. Then she turns away from you, and here comes the tail. Bam, 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 bam. Right, so this thing is 12 tons of teeth and fur. It's very, very tough, right? It rolls 6 dice against you when it attacks. Currently, if you tried to face tank this thing, you would die. Something needs to change. You've only got 3 defense and you've got 2 defense. Sorry, you're included in this attack now, thanks to her.
You're supposed to hit her next.
Yeah.
So
If you're
So-
alive.
This is where your cards come in. All of your cards are multi-use cards, right?
okay.
If you look at the bottom of your cards in your hand, there is a number in blue.
Yeah.
This is your defensive number. Every time you get attacked, you can burn exactly 1 card. You do it for free. It goes on cooldown, and it does trigger battle flow and gives you a temporary defense bonus equal to that card. What you're doing is trading future offensive potential for immediate defensive benefit, and you're always riding the lightning, just trying to keep that, just work out how much that you can get rid of in terms of damage to be able to keep yourself alive. No, it doesn't cascade, it just goes there. So it does go round. So that little one there does go round there, but it doesn't cascade. So it stops there.
Oh,
that's
It
it.
only actually moves it when you put something on that.
Yeah, you got to keep pushing those around, keep moving them. Right. Okay. So now here's the damage. You roll your own doom in this game. Are you playing a card? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll play one. Defend yourself.
So you're doing a 1. Boy. So you've done a 5, right?
3.
So you got 3 plus 2 is 5. You've got 3 plus 1 is 4.
Yep.
I like her odds better than yours. All right. Don't roll high.
Roll bad. Roll bad.
Blanks.
Oh, it's 8 damage. Oh my goodness. Right, 8 damage is quite a lot of damage. Right, now, monsters don't miss. They're too big to miss. And they don't crit either.
Oh, that's good.
That's helpful.
But that's still 8 damage. So you got 5, right? 5 into 8 goes how many times? Exactly. So you lose 1 HP. Do you get rid of all the remainders? You're still alive. Well done. Unfortunately, sir, you got 4 defense. You only played your little card. 4 into 8 goes twice. That's 2 HP. I'm afraid you die.
Okay.
Right, so you are dead. And you get thrown miles away and you're like dead. But
Wow, so Jamie, that was incredible. I mean, the action was pounding. The boss was just beating up people. The one guy died. I mean, what an epic battle. So this game is going to be coming to Kickstarter. When are you guys looking to bring this?
So we're going to Kickstarter in October. So October the 8th is our Kickstarter date, and we're just here kind of rallying the troops, getting people interested. And then, yeah, there's going to be 2 ways to back the game. So we're going to have a standee version of the game,
Okay.
and we're going to have a miniatures version of the game. Now, the standee version of the game kind of brings it sub $100, makes it a bit more accessible.
Okay.
The miniatures version of the game is going to be more than 100. We haven't set the final price yet.
Sure.
But what comes with the miniatures version is that as you go through this story, you don't know what you're hunting day to day, right? So you're going to be working through this story, and eventually the story will say something like, open box 6, and you get your miniature box. It's like as big as the Gloomhaven box, but it's just got miniatures in it. You open this chest, inside is all these mystery boxes. You take out box 6, you open it up, out comes this massive monster with all of her brood, and that's what you're fighting today.
Oh my
right?
God.
So we say it's a bit like Christmas.
Yeah.
It's going to be like presents. Every time you come back to it, it's a new present, a new thing you open, but inside is just like death and teeth. And
That is so cool. And I'm sure you guys got tons of stretch goals planned and everything else that you're going to add new characters and whatnot as well. So really, really excited. I mean, like I said, guys, this is one that really caught my eye at Gen Con this year. Probably my top pick for the show. I am so excited about this one. I'm hoping to do some more coverage on this, so stay tuned as the date gets closer. Hopefully I'll have some more videos out covering this as well in depth. But otherwise, definitely get ready for this one. This Kickstarter is going to be massive, massive, and these miniatures are beautiful. So those of you guys that enjoy to paint, you get a chance to do that. And those of you guys that, I mean, you guys are given a lot of options there. If you don't want to do the miniatures, you got the standees. If you don't want to roll dice, you got cards. I mean, you guys are really covering all the bases. Really, really, really excited about this one. So thank you so much for taking us through this. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I'll have some more coverage of Gen Con coming out later. And if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section below. I'll have a link to their website as well. So if you want to take a look at more of their stuff, you can do that as well. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you again later.